out the weak from who you've been. Can you win this war you're in? Is your point laborious, or will you rise victorious? So take it or break it. Take it or break it. Take it or break it. Earn your throne.
Welcome to a post NBA Finals Game 2 episode of Take It or Break It, sports takes talk show of your dreams, your nightmares. I'm your host, Corbin Smith. With me, as often, is John Wilmes. John, how are you doing?
Hey, dude.
And with us, as less often, but still semi-often, Lewis Keene. Lewis, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, and I'm looking even better.
What are you doing? What are you wearing? What's going on?
Yeah. I'm sipping coffee from my cow mug, which is a mug that has a cow painted on it in a very Southwestern artistic style. And I'm wearing a green Hawaiian shirt, which is missing several buttons and has a few others unbuttoned intentionally.
Oh yeah, to really accentuate your Southern California bad boy lifestyle.
That's right. And then I'm wearing socks that you can't see because they're lower than the top of my sneakers, which is a major. It's a really popular thing out here.
What's your kicks game today?
I'm wearing these like old beat up white shoes.
Hell yeah. Are you beach bumming a little today? Or are you kind of drifting around?
I'm Boyle Heights bumming today.
Bro Heights?
Boyle Heights.
Boyle?
Now what the heck is a Boyle Height?
A Boyle Height is a place that you should probably let people of color have if you live in LA. It's this frontier of gentrification right now. And I went there for the first time today. And what can I say? I can see what the appeal is.
What's the appeal? Explain it.
Huge backyards, smallish places that are really convenient to live in, like as an apartment with 3 people. Really nice views. And every single house in the neighborhood has at least one dog.
Lots of dogs, huh?
Yeah.
It's like the Isle of Dogs in LA.
Can I tell you guys a story about a dog?
If you must.
Me and Maureen.
Before you tell the story, can I take this shot of Malort?
Oh, yes. Go. John is taking a shot of Malort. Do you have the Limp Bizkit song queued up, or?
I listened to that before the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Take a look around.
Can you give me a second? Take a look around YouTube. Okay. Let me.
I got it. Can you hear it?
Yeah. Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm taking the shot.
For the record, I could not hear it.
All right.
I was hoping you would do it at a climax of some sort, but
that was good. No.
How was the Chicago novelty liquor?
That's outstanding. I might take another later in the podcast.
Okay, all right. I'm worried that you have a problem with aromatics, John. That you are drinking too many aromatics.
It's very good, Just trust me on this.
Have you guys heard of Erewhon?
Erewhon?
Do you guys have that? Do you have that in your cities?
No, I don't think I know what that is.
No, I'm not familiar with it.
I just grabbed the bottle from my kitchen. But tell us about Erewhon.
Erewhon is like Bristol Farms, but nicer, I'm told. It's like an elitist grocery store.
Oh, okay. Is that where they take cryptocurrency there or something?
Oh, I see. ERWHON.
Yeah.
Blockchain parsley, shit like that.
Parsley, I'm glad you mentioned. Parsley is one of the best things to eat while you're at the supermarket.
You mean just grab a sprig
You
and
mean
see what
like
it's
you
all?
just steal parsley?
Yeah, well, you grab a bunch and then you just kind of nosh on it as you walk around, and you make faces at people as you walk by them, and you're just like chewing on this old green root.
What is it like? What is it like? What does it make people think of you?
It's like it's an authenticity thing, especially at Ralph's. Like the old heads do it. I've never seen anyone else do it besides me.
Oh, okay.
You're
But
the
I'm
old-
big on parsley.
Are you,
I'm
are you the
making it a
only
thing.
old head, Lewis?
Yeah, probably.
Fair enough. Okay, so Maureen is dog sitting. She's
Hi.
trying to save money to go to graduate school, and she's doing some dog sitting. And for the last 2-ish weekends, we've been dog sitting for this handsome young Labrador bulldog mix named Hudson. Big boy, strong boy, mean boy. Not a mean boy, very nice boy. He sleeps in the bed with us. And at first I hated it, but I'm starting to like it, and I don't necessarily like the fact that I'm becoming I like it when a dog sleeps in a bed with me guy, but here we are.
Does he heavy blanket?
Does he what?
Does he heavy blanket?
Like, does he function as a heavy blanket?
No, does he like partake?
No,
Yeah,
I haven't been taking the heavy blanket because I live in Vancouver and she's house sitting in Portland, so I can't take a 25-pound blanket to Portland without a car, which I don't drive.
Gotcha.
I mean,
Why don't you just wear it
well, it's 25 pounds, Lewis.
like as a cape?
Well, once again, 25 pounds. It's fairly heavy.
You ever read Jesus' Son by Dennis Johnson?
No, I haven't read Jesus' Son by Dennis Johnson.
The very beginning of it starts with a guy wearing a sleeping bag as like a cape, sort of. It's really good.
Okay. So we've been house sitting for this dog, and last night a friend of mine was in town, and we were hanging out with them. We went and got dinner at Nico Nore, or Nora Nico in Portland. Shout out to Portland's favorite ramen den, Nora Nico.
Shouts.
Thank you, Lois. And we got back around a little later, 10 noon or so, or midnight or so, and we get out of the car and we're walking down the sidewalk to the house that she's house sitting for, and Hudson's just like sitting there because he got out of the backyard somehow.
Uh-oh.
We're still not quite sure how, and then he runs at us. And is freaking out a little bit, and we're like, what do you, how did this happen? And Maureen kind of tries to wrangle him, and he knocks Maureen down and jams up her thumb.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and so she says, go into the house and get his leash. So I ran into the house. Maureen says that my hands were up while I was doing it, so I kind of like looked like a weird bird. Anyway. I'll have to take her word for that one. I don't recall. So I go in, I get the thing. He's kind of chilling, still maybe a little twitchy. I get around his mouth, and Maureen's thumb is jammed, so she can't lock it. And so she's like, "You need to close it now." And I didn't quite know how to do, so that took a minute. But anyway, we got him inside, and I like looked around the house, the backyard, because what they do is that they have their back door open, so he kind of just sort of drifts in and out of the backyard a little bit. And somehow he got it. I think we're pretty sure he dug under the fence. Seems to be where we're at. But he didn't like go anywhere, it seems like. He just kind of chilled. And then when we showed up, he was like, "Oh, hey, you guys are home? Wonderful." And then so
Is that how he talks?
that's definitely like his vibe. Hey, what's going on, guys? And then we came inside and brought him in, and we just tried to figure out. And I swear to God, Maureen sat there for a minute at one point. we had a conversation about our crisis management styles after this, and she said that she is like, she tends to get like swamped with anxiety in a crisis, but like she knows how to do stuff, whereas I am like calm, but I also don't know how to do anything. So, but Maureen just sat there and looked at the dog and said, like, how did you get out? How did you get out? How did you get out? To the point where...
What was his answer?
Yeah, that's the
what did
thing.
he
No,
say?
but like that's the thing is that like it really did genuinely go from like talking to a dog the way you talk to a dog to like it seemed like she was truly asking and like wondering how the fuck he got out and was like, "You're gonna answer, right, dude?" And then he didn't answer. He just sat there. Even I was even for a second, I was like, "You're gonna answer, right?" Anyway.
Well, he did answer just in a language that she couldn't perceive.
Well, he didn't bark or anything. I mean, is there another way that dogs talk?
I mean,
You'll
humans
start-
communicate without speaking all the time.
Oh,
True.
damn.
You should see the shit that I say to people.
Yeah. Fuck you. That's it. That's all John Wilmes says with his body.
You can just walk. You can walk by people at the supermarket chewing parsley and just be spitting essays. You know, with people.
Yeah. Well, the essay is basically
pure-
just like, I am
pure
powerful.
Your takes.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's the big thing that happened to me today, is that the dog got out and we couldn't figure out why. So what's up with you guys? I don't know.
I watched this basketball game. We could talk about some other stuff first, though.
Yeah, Lewis, anything up with you? Lewis leads an exciting life, of course.
Today, well, I'm sitting in this car that I recently bought. Okay, okay, I'll tell you guys the craziest thing that happened to me today.
Okay, please go ahead.
I opened up my mail, and there was a
And the letter explodes.
Well, sort of.
Oh.
So I opened up this mail that was addressed to Louise Keene.
Oh.
Oh.
And this happens to me sometimes because my name is Lewis, and so sometimes people pronounce it Louis, sometimes people spell it Louise. Like people who I respect and I think are functional, intelligent people will hit me in a group email with like, Louise, can you do blah, blah, blah for a group project? I'm dating myself. Anyway, I get this mail. It's from State Farm, and it's addressed to Louise Keene. And I open it up, and there's a check for multiple thousands of dollars.
Oh, my Lord.
Hey-oh.
With, like, very little description of what this money was for. It's for, like, a very arbitrary amount.
So like
stuff.
something thousand and a none amount and like $23.17 or something.
I'll just say there were 6 significant figures on this check.
Okay.
Oh,
so
my.
so
this-
so 1,000 and cents or
Yeah, with cents, yeah.
okay, not $100,000.
With very little description as to what it was. So what do you guys think I did?
Cash that bad motherfucker and
Yeah.
and live large.
And then I called my lawyer second.
Oh, okay. You called your lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. What did he say? Or she? I don't know.
He looked up some stuff about car insurance on Google and said that, just wait and see. So that's what I'm doing.
So you're
Meanwhile,
just
I've gotten-
chilling on this check?
I mean, I deposited it.
He cashed it, yeah.
Wait, is
Cashed
it? So wait,
I might frame that motherfucker.
is it your money by rights?
I mean, well, if we want to backtrack a little bit more, my car got totaled, but
Yeah,
I already talked
I
about that on
remember this
podcast.
actually. Yeah.
But I already got cashed out for that. So I don't know what this money is.
Are you sure it's not?
But I'll tell
Louise-
you goddamn what is I deserve it.
Oh, just for being you?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I can't honestly say I deserve it. I like this last week was a total wash.
Deserve, like, spiritually?
Well, this is like a thing with like freelance writers, and maybe you don't experience this, but like,
Oh no, I totally do.
where you just, if you didn't get what you wanted, it's because you didn't work hard enough. And I don't know, it's a very it's almost like it's a pretty like libertarian point of view, where it's just like, or like Ayn Rand point of view, where it's the only thing stopping you is yourself, etc. So it's
after a bad freelance week, do you feel that about yourself, or do you feel like society feels that about you?
I feel bad about myself, but like I also don't let it get to me. Like I had a bad week, but I still went to Boyle Heights today. I didn't like shut myself in.
I feel bad if I didn't pitch. If I pitched and just nobody got anything, then I feel okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like,
That's a good standard.
So like, I pitched to some places this week. They didn't take some stuff. I had my column. I worked on some other stuff. So I didn't feel so bad about this week, but I also didn't really make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Hey. Good time.
But I will say this, it just feels good to be back in the game again. After being kind of a foot out of the game when I was in school this year. But again, like that just feels like an excuse.
Yeah.
Like,
You know who's gonna be saying they're glad to be back in the game later this week?
Andre Iguodala.
I was thinking Kendrick Perkins.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's time to give Perk some burn. Everybody's saying it.
Oh my God.
Did Perk suit up tonight?
No, he was
in an actual suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Steph was trying to talk shit to him.
Did you guys see the tweet about Steph saying like, "Hey, you couldn't have let me have that one," and then
Yeah,
LeBron said, "Get the fuck out of my face."
Yeah, that was pretty vindicating for everyone who loves LeBron.
Yeah.
But I got to hand it to Steph Curry. He's played his ass off in 2 games, and he's had 2 kind of like signature plays in each game. Or maybe, I guess, 1 in each game, but he had a few tonight.
You know what I think is that Durant is like very actively trying to take a step back and let Steph win the MVP this season. I think that's like part of the balance that's going on there.
Speaking of which, let's talk about the game for a few minutes or 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I don't know. Let's talk about the game. We're here under the pretense of talking about the game.
Right, but it turned out we arranged for this well before the game started.
Yeah, but then the game was.
It wasn't that bad for most of it. The Warriors took over in the 4th.
Yeah,
like they were clearly going to win like most of the game, but in the 4th they blew it open. And I'm of the opinion that like I think we talked about this during the game. There's been like too much like lazy Warriors thinking and like confirmation bias, and like thinking they're still the same team that they were even last year, where they've really been kind of like a dialing it in, beleaguered, somewhat lazy team.
Yeah.
And everybody just keeps assuming they're going to like blow the doors off of everyone ever since the beginning of the Rockets series, and they just like haven't really done it.
Yeah, they just kind of
tonight they kind of did. They almost did it in classic fashion.
They looked pretty good tonight. They were moving the ball extremely well. Steph looked fantastic. Kevin Durant just like he scores like he's just like pouring water out of a pitcher. It's like you don't even notice it.
I also thought the Cavs were like surprisingly feisty for most of the game, and if they had made any of the 3-pointers that LeBron was spoon feeding them, it could have been a way different game. There was also like a lot of fucked up calls against LeBron going on in the game for like the 2nd straight game.
refs are jealous.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah. They saw the alligator bag they couldn't handle. Did you see the thing, the tweet that was like LeBron had a $45,000 outfit on, and they detailed all the stuff he was wearing, and it was like well, yeah, and it was like a $3,000 suit, which I mean it's a lot for a suit, but also it's not really a lot for a suit if you're rich.
He's wearing twice as much suit as I am, even when he's wearing shorts.
Yeah.
You have a $2,500 half unbuttoned T-shirt on, Louis?
I don't think I have a $2,500 anything, except for a check from State Farm that came in the mail today addressed to Louise Keene.
Yeah. So,
But the bag, LeBron's bag.
yeah. But
was
the
like,
point, but the thing about it is
Wait,
that
so what was the most expensive thing in the outfit?
the bag,
bag.
which was like $4,200.
No, it's like $42,000.
Or yeah, pardon me, $42,000.
What?
Yeah, it was made of alligator. Like you know these things.
It was just an actual alligator that he kept like jewels in.
Yeah, it had like a heroin tube attached to it, and it was just sort of a nodding off alligator that he stores things in. But anyway, I'm just saying his outfit didn't cost that much. His bag cost a lot.
That's basically what it came down
It's
to.
an expensive bag. Yeah, yes. There's such a thing as an expensive handbag. It's a well-known rich person thing.
It was Wally. You know Wally Gator, the Hanna-Barbera cartoon?
Oh, it was that gator?
That's why it was so expensive.
Yeah.
It was the actual skin from Wally Gator.
From Wally Gator, yeah.
Yeah.
LeBron got the hat, too. Does Wally Gator have a hat, or am I thinking of Top Cat?
No, you're right. He does have a hat. They both have hats.
If you could have a handbag mounted out of any Hanna-Barbera character, who would you go with?
Grape Ape.
John, of course, is known for his loud purple accessorizing. Louis Keene.
No idea who Hanna-Barbera is.
The stuff Louis
Absolutely.
doesn't know sometimes. Like, I don't think I know anybody who has like weirder contextual knowledge than Louis Keene.
I have like these enormous cultural blind spots.
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera is like the Flintstones and the Jetsons. Josie and the Pussycats. Lots of
No,
things.
I've seen that.
Yeah. How about all the fucking Warriors fans in the building who on a Sunday afternoon game are wearing their strength and numbers t-shirts over collared shirts?
John, is this Colangelo thing sort of made you declare war on collared shirts? Oh, by the way, my bag would be made out of Scooby-Doo. Anyway, continue.
No. Scooby-Doo, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Earlier today.
No, I just think it's like, why would you wear him? Bunch of fucking goobers. That's what I say.
Keene, what were you saying?
I was saying earlier today I was sassed by like an elderly gentleman wearing a popped collar Abercrombie shirt
Get out.
that was like
Get the fuck
a
out
deep
of here.
purple color.
Get the
Was it-
fuck out of here.
Is it Joe Lacob?
No, but I have. Well, whatever. Yeah, no, he sassed me because at this Boyle Heights event, someone was knocking to go into the bathroom, and I knew someone was in there. So I was like, "Yo, somebody's in there." And this guy's like, "Wow, look at this bathroom monitor over here." I was like, "You're collecting Social Security and like you're sassing me in this pop collar?" But this kind of stuff happens in Boyle Heights all the time.
Louis, you do kind of sound like a bit of a bathroom monitor.
I totally was. I had no comeback.
Oh man! Last night at the ramen place, I went into the bathroom with the bathroom key, and I did my business. And I got up, and the bathroom key fell into the toilet.
Oh my god! What'd you do?
Well, I washed it using hand soap, and then I wrapped it in paper towels, and I brought it out, and I said, "Hey, I dropped this in the toilet." And the lady goes, I washed it off with hand soap. And the lady goes, "Oh, hang it up. Just put it on that hook right there."
There you have it.
Did it fall into the toilet before or after you were done?
But after I was done.
So it fell into like your shit.
No, I flushed, and then it.
You had flushed.
And then
Okay.
when I was getting up, it fell in.
That's not so bad.
Thank you, Louis.
That's potable water.
It's potable water. Louis, do you drink out of toilets?
Not recently.
No. Under what context would you say you would drink out of a toilet?
I don't want to venture back into the past, Corbin.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. what else happened in this game? The Warriors won. They won by a lot.
Yeah.
LeBron was merely excellent.
Right.
And not...
Yeah, why didn't he have 51 in this game?
Yeah, come on, LeBron. Get it together.
Yeah, come on. I think he looked tired, honestly.
JR sucked, which...
A shocker, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually is good, right? Yeah, they're bad. They're not very good. It's not a very good team.
No, they're bad. Cavs are not
But
good.
They were like competitive enough. I thought Kevin Love has looked like is the most confidence I've had in Kevin Love in a while.
Yeah, Kevin Love's been
awesome,
and it's going to be fun when he gets his own team next year.
Right? Yeah. LeBron's not sticking around for this. Yeah, LeBron had almost a triple-double at halftime. He didn't even finish with one, but he would have had like 20 assists if his teammates made their shots.
So, the Warriors don't give a shit, right?
It doesn't matter whether they do or not.
Yeah,
you know?
they are sleep the fuck walking through this one, right? I'm not crazy.
I think they're also like performing the not giving a shit.
Right. Yeah. They're
it's not like they could give a shit if they wanted to and can just like decide like, okay, we care. I think they're struggling to care, and so now they're also like performing their disinterest.
Yeah.
Like Steph Curry, there was an inbound play in this game where like Steph Curry like catches the ball and then like kind of shoots it to Draymond to like bring it up court. And it was just like, these guys are just like they're trying to show that they don't care.
Yeah, it's a very intricate, like, sort of casserole of not being cool or honorable that they're pulling off here. It's a somewhat intricate recipe that, you know, you have to tip your hat to how deplorable of a product there. It's a complicated sort of, you know, intolerability that they're pulling off here. So you have to tip your hat to them on that front.
Tristan Thompson has also been pretty good.
Weird year for that dude, right?
Pretty weird year, yeah.
Like even on court, like even if you don't factor in his weird marriage seeming to kind of fall apart or whatever, like
yeah,
I don't think you can separate those things.
Oh damn!
I think that it's like this.
Yeah,
it's pretty obvious.
The soil makes the plant. Am I right?
Yeah,
I was kind of thinking about that with LeBron. Like, do you think he goes home and like after he's super accommodating to JR's mistake after the game at the end of game one? Like, do you think he came home and was just like a total asshole to like his wife and kids? Like, do you think he just took it out on them? Or do you think like he continued to be like magnanimous the next like 48 hours?
Who are we talking about?
LeBron.
So there's a little Tristan Thompson lyric on the new Kanye album.
Oh.
Is
it a shout out or is it a diss?
John's the only person who's listened to the new Kanye album, apparently.
No, I've heard it. I've heard it once.
Oh, any good?
I didn't like it as much as John Wilmes did.
Yeah. John likes it, right?
I think John's the only person I know who's like all in on it.
Yeah.
I'm not all in on it. But the lyric has all these thoughts on Christian Mingle, almost what got Tristan single.
Such a bad rapper.
Wait a minute. Did Tristan Thompson try to cheat on his wife on Christian Mingle?
No.
I'm not
or
sure
maybe.
That's exactly what he's trying to say, but I don't think so in any event.
Could you imagine trying to cheat on your wife on Christian Mingle?
I mean, how different is the Christian Mingle pool from the Ashley Madison pool?
I mean, you hate to say it, but like, they probably don't fuck as much, right?
On which?
On Christian Mingle, because,
I bet people don't fuck that much on Ashley Madison.
Oh wow, you think it's mostly weeping stuff? Like,
you know what I bet is that people just don't fuck that much.
Just in general.
God damn, John Wilmes with a fucking heater here. People don't fuck.
Yeah, sexual activity vastly overreported. Just
I
saying.
saw that recent study that people on Tinder don't fuck like any more than people who are just like regular horny adults, and I felt that to be affirming as someone who's not on the apps at all.
Yeah. Who's just a regular horny adult yourself.
Correct.
I think that Tinder would never like allow the data they have on this. Well, their data would be imperfect anyway because they only know what happens on their app. They don't know what happens out in the world.
Yeah, they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
But they do.
You don't have to like put your cell phone on your dick to fuck if you use Tinder.
But so like they do. I'm sure that they have data on like how often cell phone numbers are exchanged and stuff. You know, they can read all your messages because they're interested in this. And if people saw like what the percentage of like just like purely like wasting time was on Tinder, it would like drive people away from the app.
Oh man, there's a lot of wasting time on that motherfucker. It is. I haven't used it in a while because I am a person with a partner now. But like, boy, oh boy, there are a few idle clickers more idle clickery than an old dating app.
Yeah, it's like a weird video game, I think, for the most part, for a lot of people.
One thing that it's achieved is it's given people the ability to hand their parents their phone as proof that they're like actually trying to get married. And then the parents can like sort of participate in it too. And that's like invaluable for a lot of people in the 20 to 30 demographic.
Have you seen this happen, Lewis?
Yeah, this happened to people I know that they have given their dating app to like their grandma, and their grandma like accidentally X'd out the person that they were showing them.
Oh,
and
no.
then they have like looked up that person on other social networks and been like, oh, I was gonna swipe right or left or whichever one, and my grandma took it into the other. Like, what if this is fate? And
they also said, what if this is fate?
I don't know if they said what if
like
this
they
is
tried
fate.
to use it to play an angle.
Yeah, it was like a pickup.
Oh my god. Human affection is bad.
Yeah, it's gross. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's yucky. You know what you do? You go up to a girl, you say, "Hey, you want to go see Avengers tonight?" She says, "Yes." You get married. She says, "No, you don't."
Yeah. Yeah.
No grandma necessary.
Yeah.
You want to speculate about Thanos' dick with me or not?
Hey, you want to see Thor hit a guy with a hammer or what? What's happening with you?
I got to say, like, the meandering nature of this podcast is very reminiscent of, you know, the types of podcasts we haven't had in months because the NBA playoffs have been happening.
Yeah, and this one's just like, hey, it was
the NBA playoffs are basically not happening anymore.
Yeah. Yes, it's hard not to feel that way. Like, after the first game, it was like, fuck yeah, the NBA playoffs are happening, baby. Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah. I still think Cleveland can make it kind of fun.
Me too.
Yeah, me
Especially
too. Because the Warriors are clearly not giving a shit.
Yeah, they're just not nearly as good as they used to be.
Do you think it's a good thing, or do you think it's a we don't care thing? Or do you think it doesn't matter?
I think they're genuinely worn down, and I think that their roster is pretty bad after the front end.
Yeah, boy, oh boy, but, that back end is something else.
Yeah, and I think that there are
the Quinn Cookies and those guys.
Yeah, the Loonies and Toonies.
But they're getting minutes. They're getting minutes out of those guys.
Well, yeah, they're playing the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
But I think they'll retool in the offseason, though. I don't know how that's going to work.
Are they extremely capped out, or are they just kind of capped out?
That I don't know. I'm not Nate Duncan and Danny LaRue, but they got to do something to improve the back end of the roster.
Did you guys listen to Dunked On this week at all? Any Dunked On updates?
I listened to it this week.
I didn't.
They got a little more. They were a little less dry than usual talking about the Colangelo debacle. Nate was genuinely upset about it. Actually,
why was it? Wait. Why was Nate upset?
Just because of how unprofessional it was.
Come on, Nate.
Yeah.
Nate's been there.
right?
Yeah.
Come on, which of those two? If I told you one of those two has like
Nate.
burner accounts,
Nate.
it's Nate.
It's
Yeah,
Nate.
I mean, it's not even a take off. Like we know which one has them.
Yeah.
I mean, Danny's a fucking angel.
Yeah. Danny's a good boy.
A sweet boy if I've ever seen one.
Sweet boy.
You know?
Very sweet boy. Danny's
Yeah.
like to his girlfriend. No, he's not Jordan Peterson. That's not fair. Danny's like Danny makes his girlfriend a nice meal before she comes home, you know? With a blue apron.
Can we get some Jordan Peterson takes on the current final?
On the NBA finals?
Yeah.
No. I tried to think of
Hey
one.
guys, what's going to be the promo code on your guys'
Wilmes.
podcast?
Wilmes, yeah.
Yeah, well, Wilmes, not Wilmes.
Yeah, say it however you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
I was with some friends recently, and they like...
Why is that the promo code?
Because it's funny.
It's an old joke that Damon used to tell. He used to always write promo code Wilmes.
Also, we don't have advertisers, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we're going the other monetization route, which
Yeah.
is please give us money.
Please. Which you should, by the way.
Somebody
Yeah,
new
you
gave us money today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to be breaking down games?
Sort of.
Or
It's sort
subjects?
of where it's we use games as a conduit to talk about broader things.
Yeah. So we
If
talked
you're
about...
gonna, yeah, go ahead.
We talked about Pacers Bulls Game 7, 1998, this first one.
Yeah, that's going to be out
It's
on
the way-
Wednesday. Subscribe to the Patreon.
It was a way of talking about the end game for these Bulls, too.
Yeah.
Look, if you guys are going to do games, you should give some forewarning so people can dig them up and watch them with you guys.
Shit, that's a good idea.
Well, we're doing right now.
And then second screen some old games.
Because this isn't being released until Wednesday, so... I think most of the games we'll end up watching will be available on YouTube.
Yeah,
The one
I
that we'll
suspect.
be looking at after that is Michael Jordan's 63-point performance
against
against
the Boston Celtics.
1986.
Yeah, and we're digging up some old resources too. And in this first episode, we talk about a column Skip Bayless wrote.
Yeah, which is just, oh my god, it's wonderful.
Yeah,
This column,
it's very like.
I would say that it's written.
Was
with
he
a
in
lot
Dallas at the time?
No, he was in Chicago at the time.
I would say that it's written with a lot of like subtlety and sensitivity and nuance, particularly in regards to race and gender.
So it's back when Skip was good.
No, I'm being
No.
No, I know you're being...
it's very bad.
There's some. I've heard somebody say like Skip was good at some point, and like
No, when Skip was like in Dallas, he wrote a book that just called Troy Aikman gay.
yeah.
With,
He wrote a
like,
book where he said
yeah.
that Troy Aikman was a closeted homosexual.
Yeah. No, you can't do that.
That's wild. Is he though?
No,
I have no idea.
but
don't know about
no.
Football, dude. I don't know about football.
Skip Bayless is the only person who said it. That's what I'll say.
Right.
Yeah.
Then it's not true.
Yeah.
It simply isn't true in that case.
What do we got here? Any other opinions about this game? Sucked. Fuck it. Not a fun game.
I will say these two games have been, not that a second one was needed, but total confirmation that the Cavs were the better team to make the finals than the Celtics. Like in case there was any doubt about whether having like this shitty Cavs team.
Yeah,
Like-
you want LeBron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want LeBron.
Exactly. And I couldn't even imagine wanting this. The Celtics would just be getting mowed over, and they would also never. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and we haven't talked about it on the show yet. How fucking stupid is it that the Celtics just never ran in that series?
They should have done it.
Because they're all young, and everyone on the Cavs has like gangrene at this point.
Yeah, but the Celtics also are a really good half-court offensive team.
Yeah,
with
but
Jason Tatum like taking as many shots as he was.
okay.
It's just like Terry Rozier basically ran out of gas, and I don't think them running more would have given him more fuel. Like Terry Rozier was basically god awful those last couple games.
Well,
But
yeah.
if Terry Rozier played like he did in the beginning of that series, then who knows? Maybe they would have a chance.
Man, I'm still kind of reeling from the Western Conference Finals. If I'm being honest, there was just a point during the game tonight when I was suffering from severe Chris Paul deprivation.
All right, Dad. Lewis, do you wish that the Rockets had made it?
No, because I'm starting to enjoy the wealth of material we're getting from the same series being played over and over again.
Uh-huh.
Like someone mentioned, like, oh, the the Warriors can take a 3-1 series lead in the series against the Cavs.
Right.
So I was starting to think, like, oh, what if they actually really did play another 4 after this? Not that I think that's going to happen, because LeBron is going to come to play in LA in this offseason. But I don't know. It's canon. And I think having some random, Sonics team or something in it would just break up the flow.
Would have been the Rockets, not the Sonics.
Yeah, but like the Sonics just randomly sort of made a finals. I don't know. I guess it was good to have them in there, but
they weren't random. They were a really
that was
good
a really
team.
good team. Come on, Lewis. This is
Rockets
fucking
really,
LA supremacy right here.
The Rockets were the best team in the NBA this year, but having them in the finals would be pretty random. I don't think they're going to make it next year or the year after that.
Well, I think they're going to.
They're not in a good situation to keep that team strong.
Except that they can sign Chris Paul for anything. And so if Paul takes a discount, they can do most things.
I really wish it was so much more feasible for LeBron to go there. I think he would if it made more sense.
Oh, it's definitely the thing that makes the most sense.
In terms of winning, but in terms of like money and everything, it doesn't make a ton of sense. They have to they have to change so many things that are really hard to change.
LeBron's taken haircuts before, though.
Yeah, I think those days might be over. Maybe not, though. Maybe he just wants to beat the Warriors super badly, which is kind of what I'm rooting for, But at the same time, he might just be trying to, do the most comfortable thing for his life,
Somebody has to beat the Warriors. This has got to...
No, somebody has to rise up. This is
this shit has to end.
Listen, if they're a dynasty beating really tough comers over and over again, you got to give it to them at that point. But that's not really what's happening at this point.
No, they're just they're farting around and waiting for the other team to eventually hit zero on a blackjack over and over,
Yeah, it's not very...
That's literally what happened against the Rockets. The Rockets just constantly just hit 50 shitty blackjack hands and then had to
that's after they got lucky that Chris Paul got hurt, too.
Yeah.
And even when that happened, the Rockets still were in a position to win Game 7. But they literally missed 27 straight three-pointers.
And you really look at that as a probability thing and not like a falling apart thing?
Yes.
This
is what I'll say. I think that on a certain level, the Rockets probably were getting tired and probably that was affecting their three-point shooting, but not to the degree that it happened.
Yeah.
To the degree that it happened, it is inseparable from probability.
I also don't necessarily think that Chris Paul getting hurt is a bad luck thing. I mean, it happens pretty much every year now.
Yeah.
And it's because the reason that he's so much smaller than the people he competes effectively against, or part of the reason is that he does more with his body than anyone should be able to do with that body, and and it ends up breaking on him repeatedly.
Lewis, how do you feel about Chris Paul in the aggregate? You're a known Clippers fan.
I found myself rooting for him against the Warriors.
Were you surprised?
No, I was having too much fun to consider my own I don't know. It's not about me. It's about them.
Were you were you Blake or
he
Chris?
Was playing his ass off. He was playing his ass off, and he was revealing something about him that I had sort of doubted was there. Like against Utah, especially towards the end of what was it, Game 6 or where he sort of just went off, and I was like, damn,
God. I was
he like really means this, and he's doing it himself. Like Harden wasn't taking him there, so he took it there himself. So, and the same thing in Game 5, and I don't know. I think it's reframed the narrative on him. It's funny, like how, like one result just totally changes the people are going to look at his Clippers years differently because of him making the conference finals with the Rockets. It like doesn't make sense, but it's true.
Were you a Blake or a Chris guy at the time?
I think I have to say Blake because he was there first, and he was like a homegrown. But after the trade, I'll tell you something. So after the trade, I did a story on Blake leaving, or on the Blake trade, and in the conference room where like all the media ask questions, whatever, before the game. This was before Doc Rivers came in, and I turned around and because Ralph Lawler, the Clippers play-by-play guy, who's been there forever, was sitting there, and I asked him why his Facebook status about the Blake trade was so emotionally mute. And I said I was surprised that it wasn't very sentimental. Because he said basically like, a tough trade in the short run, good for the Clippers in the long run. Nothing about like, most famous Clipper in history, like nothing praising his legacy there, just kind of saying, oh yeah, we shipped his ass out. So I said I was surprised, like, and he said I wasn't sentimental about Blake, and wow. I was kind of surprised that he said that. And he said, and so I said why, and he said Blake, when he came into the NBA, was a really great guy, and by the time we traded him, he was he changed a lot. Okay. And yeah, and like
Ralph Lawler with the Blake Griffin is a fake friend.
No, it wasn't quite that. Oh. But then I said, so who did you get sentimental about? He's like, I was sentimental about Chris. I was like, obviously Jamal Crawford. He's like, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And
I mean, everybody who's ever played with him or been around him worships him. Like,
yeah. So that totally like reframed my I don't know, the way I saw things. And then right after that, his marital issues came out, and that made him.
Wait, whose marital issues?
Blake's.
See, I don't know about this.
Blake's married?
He's not married, but he had 2 kids with the same woman who eventually sued him, I think, for child support because he kept like sort of committing that they were going to get married, and like finally he proposed and then sort of got cold feet, and then like the day they were supposed to get married, which like it had already been called off, but like that day he was like spotted at a restaurant with like Kendall Jenner or Kylie Jenner. And like there were all these like, oh, that's like a really bad look. But basically I think I don't really want to get this wrong, but she sued him, and it made him, he kind of looked like an asshole in the whole thing. So it's all those things that kind of just made him seem poorly adjusted more than anything.
I want to bring your guys' attention to a thread that is going down right now.
Oh, please.
At J. Caspian Kang of Vice is saying, LeBron clearly wanted this terrible team around him because if he wins, he's the greatest of all time without having to win 6 titles. And if he loses, it's not his fault. And he goes and says a bunch of other stuff like this to sort of back this up. But then he also says that LeBron is Wile E. Coyote and the Warriors are the Roadrunner. Kyrie is the Acme bag of grenades.
What's the Roadrunner? Just kidding.
Honestly, when John was saying that, I was like, I wonder if Lewis knows what the Roadrunner is.
I don't think LeBron wanted this. I do think that the latter half of the statement is true. If LeBron does win with this group, like, that's definitely a resume builder. But, I mean, I guess we'll see this offseason if he gets the fuck out of there or not.
I don't think he exactly wants it, but I also don't think that he particularly minds. Like, I think when he's actually losing these games, it's like profoundly frustrating for him. Obviously, never more than when he's doing the meme face at J.R. Smith in the closing minutes of regulation game 1.
My girlfriend speculated about whether or not he punched J.R. Smith over it. And I said, I don't think LeBron just punches people. He's an adult. And Maureen was like, I don't know. Kind of seems like he punches people. So
LeBron doesn't punch people.
Yeah,
he's passive aggressive. Michael Jordan punches people.
Yeah.
I think LeBron definitely does like derive meaning from extracting the most from this sort of ragtag group, which is like what makes Isaiah Thomas's like exile from Cleveland that much funnier. That he's like, okay, like to a point though. I can't, like, you can't give me. I mean, come on.
Do you think
like
LeBron?
Give me like George Hill or something.
Do you think that LeBron was like vaguely disgusted by the idea of a non-perfect physical specimen exceeding at basketball the way that Isaiah Thomas did?
Isaiah Thomas is like as close as you get to a perfect physical specimen in the NBA.
Yeah, except he's tiny. Except he's itty
Well,
bitty.
he's diminutive. Yeah. I'm an IT guy. You should be too. He's a Pacific Northwest guy.
Yeah, well, I gotta be into every guy. There's something about short NBA guys that just has always rubbed me the wrong way.
How about Spud Webb?
Okay,
I'll
admit that this isn't their fault.
What about Boykins?
Sure, Boykins I can get behind. No, this isn't their fault.
Thank you.
But I feel like the sort of narratives around little NBA dudes they're always a little too tearful, little too like, that's me out there, god damn it. And I just don't care for it.
I don't think they like it either.
I think that when we're like doing the whole never-ending Michael LeBron legacy game, that like what like decisions they made about like their teammates and like the bonds that they formed over the course of their career, like I think that has to be part of it. And I think that it like matters that like LeBron's 2 most meaningful teammate bonds were with Dwayne Wade, which was excellent but short-lived, and with Kyrie, which was effective but terrible.
I feel like he's tighter with like JR or Tristan than he is with Kyrie.
Certainly, yeah.
Exactly.
I never got the sense that he and Kyrie were close. I agree that it's like a defining relationship.
But so when then you look at Michael Jordan, he had a decade with Scottie Pippen in which they were fusing their games together and probably the best duo of all time. And I just think that matters, and that's part of the conversation. And people don't usually make it part of the conversation.
Dude,
I think that's...
But look at the material he's working with, first of all. Second of all, doesn't like Scottie like talk shit about MJ now?
Yeah, not exactly. He just like Scottie flip-flops when they ask him whether Michael or LeBron is better, and I don't really know what that's about. But it doesn't really matter whether he talks shit about him or not. Like, it was an extremely effective pairing for a decade. They won 6 championships together.
Kyrie's on a different wave, though. I mean, it had nothing to do with LeBron's like dadness. It was Kyrie saying, "I want to be the best." Kyrie said, "I want to be the best."
Something to do with LeBron's dadness. Come on, Lewis.
It has. I think that it actually has plenty to do with dadness.
Kyrie had ambitions that Scottie Pippen didn't.
Well, we don't really know that.
I don't think Scottie Pippen ever wanted to prove that he was the number 1 player in the NBA badly enough to force his way out of Chicago. Also, times were different then. It was harder to leave than it is now. Kyrie demanded a trade, and what happened? They traded his ass like 3 weeks later. When I was in high school, Kobe demanded a trade, and the Lakers kind of sat on their hands for 3 months, and then they were like, "Okay, we got something for Luol Deng," and he's like, "No, I want to play for Deng," and then it just like didn't happen. like the league is just different now in terms of movement and
Certainly it is. It is.
okay. So I don't think you can look at Pippen being in Chicago for 10 years with MJ and say like, oh, he did it just because like he had fused with MJ. I don't know.
Well, I don't think that you can just write it off in the way that your tone is suggesting you want to do.
Pointless.
It's an important part of the
John Wilmes
conversation.
conversations on the podcast lately. Jeez.
It's an important part of the conversation if we're talking about their respective legacies, and it is rarely treated as one. I'm not saying that it is like these things are very neatly comparable, but it's not to be written off.
There is the Pippen season where Pippen was the sort of center of the Bulls, and they were pretty good.
Yeah, they made it to the second round.
Yeah, but they lost. We're gonna have to talk about that on the podcast, John. Anyway,
They lost. They lost to the Knicks.
It's
ahead,
hard to
Lewis.
argue a counterfactual with this. Like, what maybe LeBron would have loved playing with Scottie Pippen so much that he would have played with him for 10 years. I mean, it's different people.
No, they're the same people.
Who was like the guy that, because the Cavs got like a little too good, a little too fast, right? And they probably could have drafted somebody else if they weren't like extremely good almost immediately.
Yeah, they're one of these like LeBron going to the Cavs, back to the Cavs was like one of these immediate expectations situations.
Yeah.
Which is just like a weird place to be.
But like, what if at the beginning of his career, I mean, Boozer's the one that people use, but that doesn't make any fucking sense because he's Carlos Boozer. But what if there had been somebody who he could have fused with? Like, the problem is that his first go through Cleveland, it was just like
Boobie Gibson.
Yeah, like just a billion junky dudes. Like
Berejao.
Terrible organization.
Yeah.
And also, he did have those friendships. They were just with like Mike Miller and James Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
JR
I mean, that says
to a
something. No,
degree.
that kind of says something. I don't know. It kind of says something. Yeah.
The thing that I'm getting out of this LeBron shitty teams is like a reinforcement of what LeBron's like gift to basketball has been, which is just like an undying insistence on making the right team play no matter what the situation is and being punished for it. Like the end of game 1, LeBron had the ball down 1 with the shot clock off and was basically dribbling it out for the last shot until George Hill like became barely open under the basket. It was like before he was even open that he whipped the pass over there for like potentially a game-winning layup, and that decision came back to hurt him. Like he could have basically pulled up, taken the last shot when he was on fire or something. It might have missed and they would have lost, but he made the right play, and he's making the right play over and over again to these teammates who are missing open threes, and that's been the most that's been the most special thing about LeBron as a player.
Well,
for MJ, you think of different things.
Well, I'm glad that I think everybody's gotten smarter about basketball and about LeBron, because like when he was doing this when he was playing in this dynamic that you're explaining like 7-8 years ago or whatever, people were complaining. They were like, you should pass less, and people don't really make that complaint anymore, and I'm glad, because he can't take every shot, like it's like he can't, and you have to trust your teammates and all this shit. I'm glad that we're not having that anymore.
I got some questions. Let's do some questions.
Okay.
Kevin at NBA Couchside, friend of the pod, wants to know: is Durant?
Shouts to Kevin.
Shouts to Kevin.
Shouts to Kevin. Is Durant the world's best Rudy Gay or the world's best Carmelo Anthony?
He's the world's best Carmelo Gay. I don't think he's either of those things. I think that he lapses into being that for sure. He has for a lot of this season. That's kind of what happens when a team gets complacent. People lapse into bad habits. But he's shown, like last year, he showed that
he definitely understands a higher level of basketball and is capable of playing at it.
Lewis, do you have a take?
I got Rudy
He just
Gay.
needs to.
He's the best Rudy Gay.
All right. Honestly, prefer Lewis's mean take.
Rudy Gay.
Oh no.
It's interesting.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
I'll just say Rudy
All right.
Gay. When people are like nostalgic for old NBA Twitter, what I remember about old NBA Twitter is people complaining relentlessly about Rudy Gay,
Oh yeah.
who is a pretty exciting NBA player to watch. He's only bad if you. Come on, dude. Rudy Gay had the best in-game dunks in the NBA for like a 4-year span.
I'm not.
Maybe he's not the only NBA player whose dunks occur in a vacuum, but back in the day, it kind of seemed like he was. People just hated him because he took mid-range jump shots, but like so did Kobe. So I don't know.
Mid-range jump shots. I hate to sound like Evan Turner here, but they're going to make a comeback. I also think that just trying to get to the rim more is going to make a comeback. Too many teams taking too many threes. I think that you got to mix it up a little more.
When are people going to start fucking abusing these small lineups with that too?
Cleveland's doing it right now.
Yeah, that's part of what we saw relentlessly throughout the playoffs, just hunting mismatches. And that's I think that things, obviously the strategic landscape of the league will continue to evolve.
Everybody who gets mad about ISO, everybody who gets mad about mismatch ball is a fogey. They're
I actually really like watching it over and over again.
Yeah, it's
I don't
cool.
mind it that much. I mean, it's also just it's Occam's razor. You know that it's going to happen. It's the smartest thing to do, and that's just sort of the natural result of these small ball lineups. It's going to happen.
Yeah, you're gonna hunt mismatches.
You can't have one without the other. And then there are a lot of people who are sort of weird new wave reactionary about the quote unquote ISO reemergence, as if it ever went somewhere. Because the Warriors had a series of years where they had amazing third quarter runs where they passed a lot. Suddenly isolation basketball is dead. I'm just what the fuck are you talking about? Isolation basketball always has been important. It always will be.
That was one of the reasons people underrated Kyrie.
Right? Kyrie's fucking incredible. And if they had him right now, and he was healthy, this would be a much different situation.
Fast Break Breakfast at Fast Break Breakfast wants to know. I suspect it's Keith, but it could be any of them. How are the Warriors doing this without Finals MVP Andre Iguodala?
Big shouts to Keith and his children.
Yes.
The entire Keith family.
Yeah, all 15 of them.
The entire Breakfast family.
Yeah.
Keith Breakfast.
Little biscuit.
Yeah.
Donut.
Well, I think the easy answer is they're winning despite giving up 51 points to LeBron James.
Yeah.
They look definitely worse without him. They barely eked out game 1. Game 2 was the craziest shooting performance in NBA Finals history. So Iguodala, at this point, Iguodala just looks like a male model on the sidelines. Why do they have a random guy from the Bonobos catalog on their bench?
I don't like Iguodala wearing slightly nicer clothing. He should be a crappy suit guy on the sidelines.
He's totally Hamptons out.
Yeah.
He looks like
he's
the
too
Hamptons.
Old. He's too fucking old for that shit, man. He should be.
He's the captain of the Hamptons 5.
Yeah,
he is. He's way into Silicon Valley investment shit too.
Yeah.
So have you ever played one of the I think it's Super Smash Brothers Brawl, where there's the floating ball that occasionally appears, and you hit it.
In later ones as well, but yes, in Brawl, Smash Ball, yes.
Yeah, the ball comes around, and if you're the one to break it open, you get this super killer move that destroys everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But you actually never need to get that. You never need to break the ball open necessarily. You could still win the match. Somebody else could break the ball open every time, and you could still win just by using all of your normal moves extremely effectively. Kevin Durant is basically the Super Smash Ball. Like they don't actually need him, and like Andre Iguodala is more valuable to the team than he is. Like everyone, like all of the quote unquote Hamptons five, a phrase that makes me literally ill to,
Ill.
pronounce.
Yeah, I love it. But you like it though.
I like how fucking terrible it is. Yeah, it's like we live in a movie, where like morality.
They're like the Iceland hockey team.
Yeah, morality has just been made so black and white for us when they choose a nickname like that. So it's kind of refreshing in that sense, but also it's real in a world that I live in, so it pisses me off. It's not a movie. It's not a movie. But all of those four guys are more valuable to the team than Durant is. I think that's just like kind of objectively true at this point.
Oh, Jesus.
Especially
so you think if they swapped out Durant for Iguodala, game one would not have been close?
I think, yeah, probably. Like if you have a healthy Iguodala and Durant is somehow hurt, like that's a better situation for the Warriors.
Tough for me to see. I mean, I guess LeBron wouldn't have gone for 51, but also they wouldn't have had Durant, so they wouldn't have just.
I mean, like style matters, cohesion matters, chemistry matters, and they have way less of it with Durant than they do with Iguodala. He gives them exactly what they need. Durant is largely redundant. Like
I do kind of think Durant's redundant. I think that he's the thing that makes
redundancy is good when like the redundant is averaging 2 points per shot. Like he gets George Hill on him, he scores literally every time, and by literally I mean almost.
Yeah, I mean that's a micro reality within the macro reality that they would be winning his games more easily with Andre Iguodala, in my opinion.
This conversation has got a little too stoned.
Yeah, that's fine.
Joey Devine wants to know which cast members of Tag eat ass.
Of Tag. Oh, who's
movie,
in that? Like, read it out.
Tag. 1 second. Tag.
John,
cast.
I got it. I know who's in it. It's John Hamm,
Jeremy Renner,
Ed Helms, Hannibal Buress, and Jake Johnson. I'm going 5-5 here. They're all eating ass.
Oh my God, Ed Helms.
Who's the last one? Johnson.
Jake Johnson, yeah.
Who's that?
He's in. He's Nick Miller and New Girl. I don't know if you ever seen that.
All right, whatever. Yeah, he eats ass though. I'm glad that this is the podcast that we talk about that though.
Yeah, me too.
Hey guys, you think I should take this other shot of Malort?
Oh, please go right ahead.
Does that mean you poured two and just don't have anyone else there?
My roommate's here, but I'm on the podcast, so we're not exactly hanging out.
Oh, okay.
Is there a special cheers for Malort?
No.
Hip hip Malort. Hip hip Malort.
I'm gonna play a little more Limp Bizkit though. You guys ready?
Yeah, of course, always.
Here we go.
I'm not a fan of Jeremy Renner colonizing Tag, by the way.
What do you mean?
All right, I took it. That was good.
What do you mean, the game tag or
yeah.
The movie tag?
The disappointing thing is like this is definitely going to be a franchise where they're like the next one is like freeze tag.
Oh
no, it's gonna be like hide and seek.
I don't like that. I got intrigued by that.
What are the best like permutations of tag?
I like Ghost in the Graveyard.
What's the rule in that?
I like the
Ghost. I don't remember, but I played it a lot as a kid at night. The kid at night kind of thing.
The reverse tag, where you tag somebody, and then they're also it, and then like you just keep adding people to the it team. That's pretty fun.
Did you guys ever play a game called Star Wars?
Like Star Wars TIE Fighter?
This is like a middle school game.
No, please.
It's like a game of dodgeball, but there's someone who gets to be, I guess, Darth Vader or something, and he goes around and he's invincible as long as he's in this like hula hoop. Yo, middle school is the shit. And
oh boy,
and he can save
I think
people.
You're the only person I know who thinks the middle school.
Yeah, I thought middle school was miserable.
Oh my God, the games that you play in middle school.
Man, the
That's
only
what-
game that I played in middle school was being afraid and called a faggot.
Oof. So you didn't have Gaga then?
Gaga?
Yeah.
Lady Gaga.
No, the game Gaga.
Oh,
No, I think you
Oh
would have
my
been.
God. This
got
is your guys' cultural blind spot.
Yeah. I think you would have gotten a bloody nose for saying the words Gaga where I went to middle school.
No, man. All the tough kids played Gaga.
All the tough kids like smoked opium at my middle school.
what?
That's the way it was.
Sean Woodley wants to know, what are the 3 best finals of this century and the 3 shittiest?
Ooh.
Anyone the Lakers lost is good with me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So 3 best. I think that the Heat Spurs 1 is definitely one of the 3 best.
Yeah, that shit ruled.
That I would have to say was the number one.
Oh, I think the Cavs coming
Yeah.
back from 3-1 is...
Those are definitely 2 of the 3.
Yeah.
Mavericks beating the Heat might be in there too, because
Yeah,
that was
Mavericks beating the Heat was
That
goddamn
was
inspiring.
that was a ton of fun. None
It
of
was
them
fun, but it wasn't a great series. A lot of JJ Barea.
Yeah, but just like at a cultural level.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
Barea was cool. It was like, that was the very brief period when Barea was fun to watch.
Okay, would you put the Mavs, that one, over the Celtics beating the Lakers in 7?
Yes,
Yeah,
because the
I hated
Celtics
that.
beating the Lakers and Celtics is pure neoliberalism.
Yeah, no, I give zero love to any of the series that Celtics were. I mean, yeah, Celtics or the Lakers were involved in. Although the Celtics have only played the Lakers in the finals this century. But
The Mavs one was cool because the Mavs won the finals and just no one really ever thought that was going to happen.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah.
In retrospect, like the Mavs seems like some sort of miracle that could never happen in today's NBA.
I will say that I think that at some point in the middle of that season, Tyson Chandler got injured, and Chandler was their second best player pretty much, and was a sort of like tremendous defensive presence. And I suspect that the Mavericks would have been like the 62-win Mavericks instead of the 56-win Mavericks, and it might have made more sense if that had happened. But Maureen's washing her car. But since that didn't happen, I think it was a little more surprising.
Tyson Chandler is one of the players I will remember seeing in person long after he retires, because he could dominate games and show up in the box score with maybe 19 rebounds or something like that, but you would just have no idea how much he controlled the game.
Yeah, he was unbelievable at consuming space.
And in that Mavs Heat series, I remember he drew fouls at an insane rate. Like he drew more fouls than LeBron did the whole series, and they could not box him out. Like anytime that he got a stop, it would be like Haslam would foul Chandler on the offensive glass.
And he shot 80% from the line too. Like a dude without a lot of obvious offensive utility shooting 80% from the line while also playing that kind of defense and doing that kind of boarding. That guy might be the most underrated player of his generation.
Yeah.
What about Sean Marion? He was on that team too.
Yeah, dude. Terry, Jason Kidd.
That team rules. That team is literally like every dude who was on teams that didn't fucking make it, you know?
It's really
Marion was
tragic.
on those Suns teams. Terry was on a Mavs team that didn't win. Dirk, of course, was on Mavs teams that didn't make it. It was a bunch of dudes who got whipped around in the previous decade and who all got together on this squad and did something beautiful.
It's really tragic we never got a Suns finals, and that we are unlikely to ever get a Chris Paul finals, because those are just defining elements of this century of basketball to me that we haven't seen on this big stage.
Anyway, so I think it's safe to say our top three are the Spurs, the first Spurs Heat series, the Mavs, and the
3-1.
and the 3-1 comeback in some order.
Yeah, none of the Spurs championships, aside from the one against the Heat, the first one against the Heat, were really very good series. The one I think that you might be able to throw in the mix is Heat Mavericks 2006, which was
that was so bad.
Really, I
hated that series.
I thought that was a fun series.
Ugh. Dwayne Wade shot like 26 free throws and
that was kind of whack.
Yeah, there was some. There were
just a lot of fun
in
characters in it, though. But you're right, it wasn't that very good basketball.
That series felt genuinely unfair. As like a supposedly impartial observer who wanted the Mavs to win, that was pretty frustrating.
Yeah, it did feel pretty fucked up.
All right, 3 worst series.
The Magic one.
Magic Lakers, nobody cares about
Jesus.
that.
I can't. It's so fucked that Dwight Howard has a finals on his resume. Just revolting.
I think so. He was so good.
Yeah, but he was also Dwight Howard.
Lakers Nets.
Oh yeah, boy.
That was the beginning of the century, huh?
I gotta say, LeBron Spurs 2007 is
yeah, that sucks. That shit blows.
That was dead on.
We didn't mention in the top series the Spurs Pistons.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, I was thinking like 2010s, I guess.
No, yeah, most of that first decade was a wash, though. That was a good one. Most of that first decade was
Lakers Pistons, but a bit of an honorable mention on our best series, but.
Yeah, just because it's good to see the Lakers lose.
Yeah, just because it was fun to watch them get embarrassed.
And great to see those Pistons win. They were awesome. What
a fucking weird team. What an insanely weird team.
Yeah, that was awesome. I think the finals last year was pretty dumb. I don't think it's one of the 3 worst of the century, but I thought it was pretty bad.
Yeah, Cavs Warriors 1 was... Like, we'll remember it for a Dellavedova game, which probably not a good sign for its ability to age.
Yeah. It was kind of ass, though. It was kind of an ass series. The Warriors were just, like, playing with the yips, and LeBron had, like, an even worse team than he has right now.
Because he didn't have Kevin Love.
And Kyrie got hurt after Game 1. And,
yeah.
That was what really sucked, because Game 1 of that series was lit.
Yeah, Kyrie had that block at the end.
Yeah, he had a come from behind block on Steph that was like, oh hell yeah! Like
that made everyone say, oh, what if Kyrie can like lock down Steph because he had one play at the end of the game?
Yeah, because he had one cool athletic play that was not representative of his overall defense. Yeah, but that would have been an awesome series if Kyrie stayed healthy, but obviously he didn't.
We talking 2015 right now?
Yeah, that was when Kelly Olynyk had fucked up Kevin Love's shoulder earlier.
Oh yeah, fuck the Celtics.
And it was Brad Stevens' idea too.
Yeah, piece of shit. Fuck Brad Stevens. Fuck, he's what do you call? He's a goon leader. What do you call the leader of a goon squad?
Shithead.
Yeah, virgin. Let's see if there's any other decent questions. I don't really see any. Yeah, we're done. I gotta go get dinner.
Dude, gotta do it. You gotta eat, bro.
I gotta wash my car. A la Maureen.
Yeah.
Big dogs.
Before you guys go,
Maureen,
what do you guys think of Thor Ragnarok?
Oh, we fucking.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, we fucking love Thor Ragnarok here.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Yeah, the next time you guys have me on, I'll give you my Thor Ragnarok take. I just know it's important to bring that up at some point.
Yeah, because
just think of moments in the movie when you think Mike Breen while watching it would say, "Bang!"
Oh hell yeah! Oh man, the part in Avengers when Thor shows up in Wakanda, Mike Breen belonged in that moment. Hey, Maureen's here. I have a question for her.
Oh, question for Maureen time.
Maureen, were you washing your car just now?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
It was dirty.
But it's like 9 at night.
But I was washing the paint off of the road, and then I also thought
The hose is on. I'll wash my
So
car.
there was paint on the road because you're doing some painting.
Yeah.
And then you just figured you'd
The
watch
hose was on.
Okay. Thanks, Maureen. Do you guys
Night
have
at
any
night, it's still light up there.
Yeah, it's still a little light up here. Do you guys have any questions for Maureen?
How are you, Maureen?
Wilmes wants to know how you are.
I'm great. Thanks, Wilmes. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's,
Well,
great to hear your voice on the podcast.
Wilmes
You
is
know,
doing great. He says it's good to hear your voice in the pod. Lewis.
My question is, if LeBron James punched J.R. Smith, where did he punch him?
If LeBron James punched J.R. Smith, where did he punch him?
Oh.
We talked about your theory
Oh.
that LeBron punched J.R.
In the face.
In the face.
That he
Like in the
can't
nose,
over-
like in the jaw.
Like in the nose, like in the jaw.
Cheek. That it's like cheek jaw area.
A cheek jaw area.
Because JR is standing in the locker room
Uh-huh.
and he turns and he hears LeBron come in because the reporters are going LeBron as
Yeah.
like the doors are shutting
Uh-huh.
and JR turns on and goes, "Hey LeBron, man, and LeBron doesn't even hear him and winds up and pops him in the jaw cheek area.
I'm starting to be able to see this happening.
If you were going to punch LeBron in the face, that would probably be the area that created the least bruising.
now you see this leads me to think that like Maureen, as a sort of more detached observer than us, is bringing some valuable insight.
Yeah.
And that even though we were gaslit by Jordan in the 90s into thinking he was a good person, and like we should have learned our lesson.
Oh, that Maureen knows that LeBron
Yes.
is a bad person, that we can't
Right.
see it.
No,
'Cause-
I think he's
Yeah,
a
we're-
good person.
No, wait, Maureen thinks he's a good person.
I
though.
think he's a fantastic person, but I think that like he really got fucked over, and he is like the father, and like his kid like hurt all of his other kids.
Okay, so
Wow.
his child had to get punched, basically.
A child had to get punched, is what you're saying.
Since
My
like-
thing with this
like,
series
like,
is
since it
as...
hurt the rest of
Oh, go
them.
ahead.
Yeah, Lewis, go ahead.
My thing with this series is like the more I watch LeBron, the more I realize he's like the only thing I can like really react to anymore. I feel like
Wait,
everything
like in the
else is just-
universe?
yeah, like everything else has gone completely numb for me, except for these finals games where like LeBron just takes over at the end and amazes
In all
like,
basketball?
so
In
routinely.
basketball or just in all of your life?
in all of life. I've just gone completely numb, and like LeBron James is the only he owns my emotions at this point.
Is it like a Trump era thing, do you think? Like everything
In
is
this-
just so
yeah,
ridiculous.
in
that-
this social media era,
Yeah.
it can be hard to really react to anything without immediately seeing like a cat picture or some other dumb tweet to like mollify you immediately after.
But
But when you're watching
LeBron
a
is
game
like yanking those
and you're like
feelings out
off
of
all
you.
that stuff, and LeBron just powers through with like, you know, they're down one, he just immediately gets a and one layup or something, and you stand up and you're just shouting like, "All hail the king," and no one else is there. Then once the game ends and you go back to your regular life,
Where
you
you
know,
can't
it's-
feel.
Yeah, this is.
it's
too much
like
basketball
the
for me.
color has faded, you know.
Okay. Bye, Maureen. All right, we're done. Lewis can't feel. We're done.
Yeah, I'm currently like floating now because I just like can't
Yeah.
even.
The weight. There's no weight of the world on Lewis anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything to promote, Lewis?
Yeah, I have something coming out this week on my car. And
Who's that for? Who's that for, Elman?
It's for Jalopnik.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I actually don't know when it's running, but should be this week because it's ready to go. And hopefully more stuff. Hopefully more stuff, you know? And if not, then it's my fault.
Yeah.
And
Wilmes.
as always, follow me on Twitter at this Lewis.
Yeah,
With a single underscore at the end.
Yeah. Lewis, underrated Twitter follow, Lewis. Hit him up. Wilmes, you got anything?
Follow Lewis on Twitter. He's funny.
Yeah.
No, he should get rid of the donut emojis in his name.
Oh my God.
But we don't have to talk
We're
about
not
that.
relitigating this right now.
Yeah. Yeah, follow Lewis, and I'm writing stuff at Real GM, so
Yeah.
jump on that.
And me, Dunk of the Week, obviously. And
check out Patreon.com/takeitOrBreak.
yes, and please sign up for the Patreon. Me and John.
Wait a
Wilmes.
second. How do we pronounce it?
Patreon. You said Patreon,
not what-
though, Wilmes.
like David Petraeus.
Yeah. He runs it.
It's his site.
Yeah, it's his site. He uses it to cheat on women. Cheat on his wife.
He uses it to like leak national secrets to his biographer.
Man, I wonder what the fuck Petraeus is up to.
He's giving speeches and making money.
Yeah, he couldn't keep his dick in his pants.
Yeah, well, people thought he did a good job. You know, that just makes him human, as someone told me about Gavin Newsom. Who you guys got in the California governor's race?
Arnold.
Yeah, is Arnold running?
In the words of the Terminator, I'm back.
Arnold is also giving speeches and making money.
I mean, Arnold's in movies sometimes. Again,
was he in Infinity War?
No. He might have. They might have been able to find a role for him, though. Honestly,
who would you guys put in Infinity War if you could like cast one celebrity to make a cameo in it that isn't already in it?
Are they playing a celebrity, or are they playing a like a person?
Either one. How about as a cameo of themselves?
You'd have to go Denzel on that one, I think.
Like Denzel playing himself as like the badass actor Denzel, but still just
like eating a salad while Captain America punches a guy somewhere in the background.
Do you think there was too much Wakanda in Infinity War?
No. It's a dope setting.
Yeah, it's fun. They had a big
the vibranium bubble over the whole territory. It's cool.
They had a big fight in a field. It was cool.
Yeah. Don't you ever have fights in the field? Come on, dude.
Yeah, come on.
Good point.
Sign up for the Patreon. It's at
lots of good stuff coming.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. We did the first episode this week. It's like good. It's actually good.
We're actually trying a lot more than usual when we do this.
Yeah. He's not lying. I had a schedule and everything, and I was like, we're going to try to follow a schedule. And Wilmes was like, come on, do we have to? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys should release the schedule so other people can participate.
Yeah, when we release the script. It's fully scripted.
Yeah. It's, we're just reading Macbeth, actually. It's just...
Oh my god! I read Of Mice and Men yesterday.
Like back to front. Back to front.
Yeah, it's like 80 pages or something like that.
Incredibly short.
Sad story, bro.
Rough one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad stuff. That's what LeBron's gonna have to do
to JR.
Some of his teammates this summer. Yeah.
Do you remember how the book ends? How Of Mice and Men ends?
Of course.
Yeah. Yes, Lewis. I remember the most notable ending in American literature.
No, that's not how it ends. That's like a page or two before it ends.
Are you talking about he sort of goes back to the group part?
Yeah, he goes back to the group, and then the guy whose gun he took to kill the dude just goes... So George is like walking away with this guy Slim, who's this kind of cool character because his name's Slim. And he says, now what the hell you suppose is eating them two guys? And that's the last line of the book.
There you have it.
Yeah, it's kind of a dope non sequitur ending.
Yeah. Anyway, so do all that stuff, rate and review on iTunes, and have a wonderful day.